What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Opinions of a D2 Dropout. I am your resident D2 Dropout, Brentar. As always, talking about sports, giving my opinions, having fun in life. So let's talk about the baseball. Baseball's finishing up. So I'm still carrying my Diamondbacks back there. They're still hanging on. We'll get to football in a minute. Nothing really happened with hockey, just a rumor. I might cover that, give my opinions on it. But right now, let's talk about the sport that's about to finish up in just over 2 weeks for most teams, actually all teams. So last night we had the Atlanta Braves officially clinched the NL East, winning it 17 games up. They celebrated. I believe they were on the road last night, which made clinching even better. So they officially clinched. I believe some teams are still like games away, like a week away from clinching. Dodgers could clinch within before the next pod. They are 13 games up on the Diamondbacks. Rockies have officially been eliminated from the NL. They are the first NL team eliminated from the playoffs. So rough for them. Looking at the wild card standings for the NL, most teams are alive. It's still 3 teams make it. You still have 6 teams fighting for a spot. So that's going to come down to the final week of the season. Right now, though, if you are a Nationals fan, a Cardinals fan, more likely your season's pretty much over. You're 11, 10 and a half games back with 2 weeks left. It's going to be hard to make a comeback. Mets are 8 back. Season's kind of over. Padres, Pirates, 7 back. If you can get hot and get lucky with the 4 teams ahead of you falling, got a chance. I don't see it happening. So we might actually see a team with a plus differential actually lose. That being the Padres, who are currently at a plus 60 run differential. That's surprising. Now let's look at the AL side of it. Baltimore and Tampa, they're going to be fighting it out for that AL East until pretty much the final day. Twins, 7.5 up on the Guardians. They got to play another week. Next week, they should clinch the Central. Astros battling out with the Rangers and the Marlins. That's going to go to the final week with Rangers with game back, Seattle a game and a half back. But on the AL side, we do have 3 teams eliminate. That being Kansas City, who has 101 losses. The Oakland A's, who are really just trying to move with 100 losses. The White Sox sitting at 90 losses. And looking at the wild card, it's really a 4-team battle. The Braves all but guaranteed to have clinched a playoff spot, being 8.5 up on the wild card. Rangers are only half game up. Seattle's holding the last spot. And then the Blue Jays being 1 game out. Boston, 7.5 back. Kind of hard to make a run here. Yankees, 7.5 back. Guardians, 12.5. Not again. If they're going to make it, it has to be that the Twins fall. It's the only way the Guardians make it. The Angels are 13.5 back. Their season's pretty much done. And even my Tigers. I'm repping them today. But, like, we're 14.5 back. 9.5 back. We need a miracle. I'm not expecting the playoffs. Season's all but over. But congrats to the Braves being the first team to clinch. It's going to be fun. Very interesting. I know right now, if you're a Reds fan, looking at that wild card standing, I'd be a little nervous since they are tied with my Diamondbacks. Currently, right now, at the time of this recording, top of the 6th, 3-0 Tigers. If you're a Reds fan, you want this win. And seeing that, oh, hey, we're currently just got our first hit in the top of the 6th. Yikes. That's a big yikes there. Like, no hit through 5 against the Tigers, who are 66 and 79. Like, Tigers still have a hope of finishing above 500. I don't see it though, unfortunately, but you can always hope. That's all I'm going to really talk about baseball. Nothing else is going on. Maybe once the playoffs start, I'll go deeper in breaking down the games. But baseball's just such a long season, and with them playing every day, it just makes it harder. Going to the NHL side, the only thing I really want to cover is Tomas Tatar agreed to a 1-year deal with the Colorado Avalanche. Tatar has been a decent player ever since he played for the Wings. And then there's a rumor free agency that Patrick Kane is wanting to play with the Brinket again from the Red Wings. I would love that. Make the Wings a contender again. Not really something I wanted to break down. But yesterday, a news article broke on ESPN about the NHL considering changes to the digital ad boards after fan criticism. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. I did find it very jarring at times when suddenly half a player was missing, or you had the play going to the right and an Enterprise car zooming to the left. Very jarring, very very unpleasant. But the NHL's considering changing it. Ads are sold like commercials with brands buying 30 seconds increments is the whole deal they're talking about. The NHL chief business officer and executive vice president of global partnering says it was certainly the vocal minority who's playing folks that think it's a better experience. I didn't mind it. It was more when it became buggy. Like they're in the close corner and you're seeing the advertisement glitch with the players. Like it was jarring. But they feel pretty confident. They do want to use the advertising more to like promote games, like for the national broadcasts. Trying to find out what else for overtime in a shootout, like say who's in goal, who's shooting, just to try to make it better experience. But they feel like it's a great revenue and it just looks a lot cleaner. I have to agree on the cleaner part. Like instead of seeing a Tim Hortons brand thing, but at times it can, if it's not set up properly, it can be very, very jarring. That's my only criticism with the whole makeup of the digital ads. But let's dive into the king of sports, because we got a bit of a controversy going on. Thinking about we'll come to the NFL. I'm going to spend most of my time talking about the NFL, but I want to talk about NASCAR for a second. Sorry, I'm just scatterbrained and I'm just going off of what I feel. And honestly, jumping to the one I love more and the one that's in the playoffs right now, I want to do that. So right now, heading into the final race, Bristol, I should have gone, but life just had other ideas. We have 2 drivers locked in. Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick. They won. Larson won at Darlington. Tyler Reddick kept the 45 streak winning at Kansas last week. They're both live. Denny Hamlin's plus 49. I think if he gets a couple stage points, he automatically clinches. I think it's 11 points. He clinches his spot. Byron's 41 up. I believe he just needs 19 stage points and he clinches. Even then, 41 up on the spot, and the max you can get a race weekend 60. He's pretty safe. Brad Keselowski's 33 up on the cut line, also looking pretty good. Ryan Blaney, as long as he keeps the car clean, plus 25. Kyle Busch, plus 24. Honestly, those guys, I feel safe. Like, they're locked in. I do know, if you watch my playoff prediction, I'm already wrong because Tyler Reddick's advancing, and I had him knocked out. I know I'm getting one wrong. Ross Chastain's plus 18. As long as he can race clean at Bristol, he should make it. Chris Buescher's a plus 13. Should make it, but it is Bristol. He's got to stay clean, along with Christopher Bell, Joey Logano. Bell's plus 13, Logano plus 12. they got a bit of a cushion. Now, Kevin Harvick +7, number 12. He's on the line. He's got to be defensive. So +7. Past few times coming to Bristol, I want to say a couple years ago, he hasn't been able to finish just because caught up in other people's wrecks, a mechanical failure a couple years ago. I remember when I was there. So Harvick and Stewart Haas need to have everything running smoothly for Harvick to make it on to the next round. Michael McDowell, 16th, is -40 behind Harvick. McDowell at this point has to win. It's win or go home for McDowell at Bristol. Ricky Stenhouse, -22. He's honestly probably in the same boat of win and you get to move on. Don't win, your season, your playoffs hope, championship hopes are gone. Bubba Wallace, -19. If shenanigans do happen, Bubba could point his way in, but shenanigans need to happen. In my opinion, it's going to be 13th place, Martin Truex, the regular season champ, who's 7 back of Harvick. I think it's going to be those two battling it out for that final spot. Now, shenanigans can happen at Bristol, being a short track, even though NASCAR needs to really work on the short track program. Shenanigans could happen that both Harvick and Martin could be out. Or say like Joey, Christopher Bell, Buescher, even Ross Chastain. Something happens, they're out. Their season could be over. Like, these guys need to have a clean race. Kyle Busch on up, as long as you're not finishing worse than 25th, I think they're making it. As long as they're not DNFing on the first lap, Kyle Busch up will make it to the next round. So Saturday night's going to be a fun race to watch. It's going to be interesting to see who advances into the next round. But I already know my bracket's done. Right, I want to see my picks. Show me my picks. Dang it. Yeah, I just find that really odd that the regular season champ might be eliminated by time we reset next week. By time Saturday rolls around. But let's get to the king of sports, at least in America. And that being the National Football League. We had a major upset last week, or to start the week. The Blue Lions marched their way into Arrowhead, and we took down the reigning, defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, on the banner night. No greater feeling than that. Took them down 21-20. Oh, I'm excited for Sunday's game against the Seahawks for the Lions. It was good. Lions spoiled the Chiefs party. I got that pick right. Let's go. But moving on, game 2 of the week, or at least how they have it like bracketed out. I got wrong with my pick. I picked Carolina to win. Unfortunately, Carolina did not decide to show up. Bryce Young had 2 picks, falling to the Falcons 10-24. I did not see the Falcons doing well with Desmond Ridder, but hey, props to them. That one I even remember saying I wasn't confident on. There was no big surprise there. It was just more Falcons showed up to play at the end. Like, I'm looking at the box score. No points scored in the first quarter. 7-7 in the second. Third quarter, 3-3. And Atlanta in the fourth just went, okay, we're going to score 2 touchdowns and just put up the middle finger. Now, this would have been the shocker of the weekend. Honestly, the worst scoring performance by a team. But we'll get to the Sunday night debacle in a minute. But you have the Cincinnati Bengals, who I picked to win, especially since I have Joe Burrow as my quarterback in fantasy, so not enjoying that, up against the Cleveland Browns. And, yeah, the Bengals only scored 3 points. They lost 24-3. I don't think anyone saw that. So that was very, very odd. So I've 1 for 2 so far. A game I got right. I did say Trevor Lawrence and the Jags would come out and beat Richardson and the Colts. They did that 31-21. A lot closer game than I thought, but it's the NFL. Games are going to be close. Players, even if you're trying to tank, it's not going to happen. Moving on to a game I thought I said the Bucks, but I didn't because I didn't trust Bradford, and that being Tampa Bay and the Vikings. So Tampa Bay did beat the Minnesota Vikings 20-17. So I did not believe in Baker Mayfield. Did not believe in him at all. And yet the Buccaneers came out and beat the Vikings in Minnesota 20-17. Kirk Cousins 44 yards. Jefferson was amazing the first half, and they didn't target him the second half of the game. How do you not target one of the best wide receivers in the NFL? That to me was surprising. Like, are you trying to lose? Well, they did lose by a field goal, so. Moving on to another close game, one that I wasn't confident on, and that being, but I did pick the Saints. That being Tennessee versus the Saints. Saints won this 16-15. That I didn't watch this game. I didn't really see any breakdown on it. That is such a slow scoring game. Saints were lucky to come away with the win there. Moving on to a butt kicking, you have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Steelers with a final score of 30-7. I did pick the Steelers to win. That was an easy pick. Kenny Pickett, I don't trust. So, and pretty much the Steelers showed why. And then the battle of the two bottom feeders of the NFC, in my opinion. Arizona Cardinals, who are honestly in tank mode, even though the players are not trying to tank, against the Washington Commanders, led by Sam Howell. Commanders won 20-16. Yikes. In a slaughter, pretty much. The Ravens beat the Texans 25-9, but that game, not without an injury. I did also pick that one, right? The Ravens might have lost, and pretty much have lost, J.K. Dobbins for the season with a torn Achilles. I gotta feel bad for J.K. there. Like, he's getting up there in age. He doesn't have much left in his career. And tearing your Achilles as a running back, that's just off. So, never know. He could make a return next year and be great, but like, getting up there in age. And a battle of NFC North division rivals. I did pick this one right. The ugly team from the North did win. The Green Bay Packers, led by Jordan Love, who I'm still not saying is great. They played a very bad Bears team. A team that was very overhyped. 38-20. But yeah. Bears defense sucked. I do not trust Jordan Love yet. Played a very crappy Bears defense. They were been on a fire sale the past few years. I can't trust them. The Raiders beat the Broncos. I did. Did I pick? Yeah, I picked that one right. Raiders won 17-16. So I was right there. Close game. Broncos. That one's gotta hurt. So we'll see about that. heading in to Tom Brady Day in New England. The Eagles decided to spoil it, winning 25-20 in a battle of two great quarterbacks. I did tell you to pick the Dolphins. Dolphins won 36-34. Tua with 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Very impressive there. And now heading to the last game, Seattle versus the St. Louis Rams. Matt Stafford, 334 yards, no touchdowns. Just a great arm day by Stafford. Rams win 30-13. Seahawks, you better show out this week against the Lions, because if you put 13 up, it's going to be a long day. Last year we actually at least had a battle. But there is a funny audio clip. If you do go to YouTube, you literally could hear Gino when Aaron Donald's chasing him just let out a few expletives. But then again, if I had Aaron Donald chasing me down too, I definitely would be dropping a few F-bombs. Going, oh my god. Sunday Night Football. Both of these last two games I got wrong. Was not a great week for me. The great games for me there being Sunday night. But you had the Cowboys marching into MetLife to play the New York Giants. And the Giants never showed up for that game. Cowgirls win 40-0. It is rare you see a shutout, a blowout like that. But yeah, the Giants, that was a poor showing by the Giants there. And Monday Night Football. Bills. What the fuck was that? Aaron Rodgers making his MetLife debut in front of the Jets. Jet faithful. 4 plays in. Tears his Achilles. Done for the season. So at that point, if you're a Bills fan, they have Zach Wilson coming in. You guys should have won, right? Oh, wait. You let it go to overtime and lose off a punt return, 22-16. Josh Allen did not play well. 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. That was... I have no idea what he was doing. But yeah, if you're Jets faithful, I'm praying for you, because that's tough. That is tough losing Aaron Rodgers, who pretty much said that, like, pretty much raised your expectations that you're making the playoffs. And suddenly you're going, okay, our defense is amazing. What do we do about the offense? The Jets, they come out earlier this week and say they are not pursuing Colin Kaepernick as a replacement for Aaron Rodgers. So, just shooting that down. At this point, anytime you hear about a QB, team needing QB, Kaepernick's going to be a name. Kaepernick's been so far removed from the NFL, it's going to be impossible for him to pick the game up quickly. No offense to him, but it's just not in the cards for him to be an NFL player anymore. So, don't know what the Jets are going to do. If they're going to stick with Zach Wilson, pursue a team to trade him, who knows? But let's head in to my week 2 picks, break down a few of these games. We actually have a game on tonight, and that is the Minnesota Vikings heading to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. I'm going to Eagles here. It's not going to be a surprise. Primetime Kirk Cousins, I don't care what he did last year with the 1-score victories. he is still primetime Kirk Cousins. So I got the Eagles winning over the Vikings. And on to now Sunday. You got the Green Bay Packers heading to Atlanta to face Desmond Ridder and the Falcons. Looking at ESPN Pick'em here, 66 people, 66% have picked the Packers to win. I get it. Jordan Love, the hype train, how many points they scored against an awful team. I respect. But I'm going to go Atlanta. Like, maybe Atlanta's found something. They are the home team. I do not trust Jordan Love at all. I'm really hoping I'm right. But we'll see. Hopefully the Packers crash back down to earth just so it is the Lions division to lose. And we can win that easily. And on to the next matchup. You have the Las Vegas Raiders. 1-0 Las Vegas Raiders. Heading to Buffalo to take on the 0-1 Bills. That is odd. I am going the Bills here just because I don't see them going 0-2. You go 0-2 as the Bills in the East, no matter how depleted the Jets now are, how much of a garbage bag the Patriots are. You can't win the East going 0-2. Bills gotta win this. So, even though I know Mikey out there still roots for the Raiders, I don't think they're winning this week. The next matchup, the Baltimore Ravens, 1-0, taking on the 0-1 Bengals. I'm going with the Bengals, same here. If the Bengals are going to compete for the playoffs after giving Burrow a massive contract last week, you have to win. You cannot go 0-2. You go 0-2, your season is over at that point. So, teams have made a comeback after going 0-2. They have got it right. I just think Bengals cannot go 0-2 in the division. That's the big thing. Bills go 0-2. Okay, you can still come back. You're 0-1 in the division. You still have 5 games against your division. You're good. Bengals, you lose to the Browns. That's a division rival. You lose to the Ravens. That's a division rival. You're now 0-2. The best you can do in your division is 4-2, and even that might not even make the playoffs. Lions went 5-1 in the division last year and didn't make the playoffs. So you're flirting with disaster going 0-2. Now, next game up on the matchup, the Seattle Seahawks traveling Metro Detroit to take on the Super Bowl contender. Well, getting ahead of myself. The NFC Championship game contenders. Still getting ahead of myself. The NFC North winners, in my opinion, the Detroit Lions. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid. Ford Field is going to be the loudest it has ever been. Hell, standing room tickets are now up to $180. If that tells you anything, and the average seat now is over $450. This game is getting out of hand. It is starting to almost become when Taylor Swift came to Ford Field ticket prices, and those were ridiculous. So, Seattle, you better bring your A game. I know Pete Carroll has always won. Like, he has the Lions numbers when he comes east. I'm fine with that. I don't think Gino and them are ready for this Lions team. Last season, this Lions team, when they came, they were still finding their feet. Hutch was still trying to develop. Houston was developing. Like, we didn't have an identity at that point. But this Lions team has an identity. Last week, clear example. The right tackle kept jumping on the false starts, kept being Hutch. What did the Lions do? Okay, we're going to move Hutch to the inside and just keep disrupting Mahomes that way. Like, how many defensive linemen the Lions have? We can move the pieces around. I don't think Seattle's going to be able to handle that, especially losing two of your right and left tackle. Like losing two tackles is gonna be tough to rebound from. So definitely go to Lions if you're a betting man. Next, you got the 0-1 Chargers against the 0-1 Titans. I'm gonna go Chargers. Justin Herbert, I think, is a better quarterback. He played Tua, who's playing out of his mind. Didn't even hit the ground, so got the Chargers winning that one. But Tennessee, you're good, but your quarterback situation is just odd. Then you have the Chicago Bears heading to Tampa Bay to take on Baker Mayfield. I mean Mayfield. The Bears were so beyond overhyped. They're going on to end of story. Put them into the graveyard. Moving on. Like, I think Tampa's gonna win the South at this point. But like anything to bury the Bears, so any talk of them winning the North is just gone. Goodbye me. Then you have Patrick Mahomes and the 0-1 Chiefs. That is so odd saying. Taking on the 1-0 Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm gonna go Mahomes here. I think Thursday night was a wake up call that hey, we probably shouldn't have our red zone designed around Kelsey. No word yet on if Kelsey will be playing, but Chris Jones has signed a 1-year extension with the Chiefs, so he will be playing this week against Jacksonville. So best of luck to Trevor Lawrence running around. I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning that. A matchup of 0-1 teams. You got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Texans. I'm going to go Richardson over Stroud. The Texans just looked awful against the Ravens. At least the Colts tried to put up a fight against the Jags. So that's why I'm going there. You got the San Francisco 49ers heading to SoFi Stadium to take on Matt Stafford and the Rams. Much as I don't trust Brock Purdy, I don't trust the Rams more. Give me the 49ers. You got the New York Giants taking on the tanking Arizona Cardinals, even though teams don't tank. In this one, I think the Giants will win. The Cardinals are really trying to tank. They're going to try to make games close, but they're trying to go into the gutter. The 425 game, you have the New York Jets traveling to Jerry's World to take on the Cowgirls. Give me the Cowgirls. You got Zach Wilson leading a football team. I do not see Zach Wilson winning. It's not happening. He's not a good quarterback. And on to the next game, you have the Washington Commanders taking on the Denver Broncos. I don't trust Sam Howell. I don't like Russ Sealer. But you do have Sean Payton as quarterback as the head coach. Maybe last week was a fluke. So I'm gonna go Denver on this one. This game, I would, if you're a betting person, don't bet. It looks very odd. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. Heading on to the Sunday night game, you have Tua and the Miami Dolphins traveling to New England to face Mac Jones, New England Patriots. I'm going to go Tua. I think Tua is, as long as his O-line doesn't let the defenders through and get Tua killed, he's going to be able to hit Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Like, Dolphins have weapons. So definitely going Miami there. The Bill Belichick led Patriots going 0-2. Ooh, maybe it was Tom. Maybe it was Tom. Heading on to Monday night, where we have 2 Monday night games. First up on ESPN/ESPN2, you have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers. I saw enough of Bryce Young last Sunday. He did not look good. playing against Atlanta. The Saints, led by Derek Carr, seem to be a better team, like organized. Still only won by a point last week, but I'm still gonna go New Orleans over Carolina. And the final game of the week got the Cleveland Browns heading to the Steelers, heading to Steel City to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's gonna be an interesting game. You might see the terrible towels, even though the Steelers weren't great. I don't know how much I trust the Cleveland quarterback, whose name is not coming to my head right now. I forget his name. It's not coming to my mind. But yeah, I would say definitely go. I think we're good enough that I think the Steelers will win it. That's my opinion on it. Yeah. Those are my picks. Torque singled. Let's go. Let's go. Meadows and McKinstry. Nice. But yeah, this is gonna be a shorter episode. I don't really have much to talk about. I'm still recovering from an injury, so I'm all over the place. But check out the channel. Watch some of the other videos. Check out my episodes from the previous week on my opinions. I will try to have it more organized next week. Kind of got hurt during the planning point with my ankle, so that was a bummer.